Etiefo, munim say platform way you want namfufo bebre. People might not understand I'm speaking in parables, but platform way you want namfufo bebre. Na ye namfufo na you want no. Baako Godfred Dame. Now, people who know Godfred Dame, you know the history we have together. Godfred Dame the I mean, we all know Godfred Dame, the former Attorney General. He was once a Deputy Attorney General, now an Attorney General. Now, there is a case happening in this country. Godfred Dame ababekasa ewoso. But you say there is a saying, nasa saying when nibakura midi nkanti free ne ho Kennedy Japan. Asamu Kennedy Japan kan ya media to mitrim or say he who calls for equity should come with clean hands. Kennedy Japan ameteza workers at the first. Okay, inti de bia mebe kansa asem na makai Kennedy Japan. Inti yebe say Godfred Dame equity a war friend is he coming with clean hands? There is a case of a year Unibank. Yen say Unibank no a year Dr. Kwabena Dufo a bank. Na aban e prosecute yomo. Na NDC aban e bae no. Omo tre say they've gone into a plea deal, right? A bargaining deal with Unibank. Dr. Kwabena Dufo mo. Emma sekebia womo di aban no omo etua. Eno hunti senior nanka MPP aban pese ye chi Dr. Kwabena Dufo etum no. Sisi ano ye gya no. Case na ba a very big case. I'm seeing a lot of people do analysis on it. Ebe mo trese dabi still ye nchin intum or ye ndisi nintin ye gya no. Ebe mo so trese dabi Ghana mra trese ne ba ko no wewie sika no na edu ba bi na ne ba ko ne say sika no ode beba was ye gya no. Enti no all sort of things. Na enkrofo akasa ebi mo bo abanyechi and all that. Godfred Dame so de nano aba betum. Na media eho na me pese me kasa because you see I promised you guys. Samunya mobekaya. Go back to the promise I made when the MPP was in power. Me catch am say ye betina krom ha. MPP fo nyama bia wo mo ye no. NDC beba. Enyama ni bi besisi. MPP be yo mo ho say omo ye nyame. Omo baba be kasa tia NDC. That is when some of us ye be so tia MPP say munye kum na momo time. De mu ye hu ye ni. Ende Godfred Dame ye be he. Enti yentie Godfred Dame nsem a wokan watro nsem afa saa de ne ho. Na yen read Godfred Dame ne letter yen read. O say the penchant of the Attorney General Dr. Dominic Ayine to peddle on truth in a press conference is becoming quite alarming. On 28 July 2025, he stated with some boldness that it took the Attorney General 6 months to file witness statements in the Republic versus Atoforsen and 2 others trial. This is palpable false, just like many other statements by him. The accused persons in the Republic versus Atoforsen and 2 others case were arraigned before court for the first time on 18th January 2022. The court on that day gave directions for filing of disclosures after the grant of bail to all the accused and adjourned proceedings to 15 February 2022. The prosecution complied with the order of the court and filed all documents to rely on, including all intended exhibits, documents required by the defense, and all witness statements of witnesses to be called by the Republic on 14 February 2022 within 27 days, less than 1 month, and not 6 months as widely claimed by Dr. Ayine. Now, the first point, no, say, at first in case, no, Dr. Ayine chantro etoneso. Na, or trese entro. Dr. Ayine kase, the 6 cases, 6 months, and at first in case, no, a koye, or trese case, no, a year within 27 days, less than 1 month, and or share case, na say. Na nini na ye, onzen grofo kase, oh, Dr. Ayine cases ni bi no, or che, and emso masa explanation, no. And Dominic Ayine saying Godfred Dame ekase entro, no problem. So that is the point number 1. Now, Yanko point number 2. I say the important question is, how can the period of 27 days within which the Attorney General filed witness statements and documents to be relied on in the Atuforsin trial, appeared to be 6 months in the mind of Dr. Ayine. Is it sheer recklessness or a deliberate effort to make his predecessor, and for that matter the office he now heads, look bad? The docket on the case is in Dr. Ayine's office, and the facts could easily have been verified. I have said before that the tendency of the Attorney General to publish plain untruth, half-truths, and misinformation against the prosecuting team and courts adjudicating cases previously being prosecuted by his office is highly unprofessional. Dr. Ayine's actions constitute an attack on the very office he now heads. Into the second point, still on that matter, Otremu say one tiase say Dr. Ayine obekan sembi say because adie no obi anim say case ne dan anim. It is a case need an anymore. Onim say Atuforsin case na 27 days. Didn't no say a 6 months. And I didn't know Becca says 6 months. Okay, let's move to the point number 3. But before that, no, let me say this. So utie me na utie me wa utie me sisiano. Mesrao se we fu ashase ye kese ana we fu ye kese a. Mesrao efu kese de e de yare bebre nanam. At the end of this video, make sure the intia efu kese enye. But you are at risk. So we fu ye kese, you are at risk of a year akumayare. You are at risk of stroke. You are at risk of getting a year type 2 diabetes. Bisa Dr. Nibia Obekatrel. Now I was in that position some time ago, and then me fu say I jo say balloon na yedi pin awom. Na nini na no nyama bia me ye embre bia me didi ye ene say nyama bia me sha sese me di ene ma me fu no dwu ye just within 3 months. Na opese onso utumi ye te say me a matro hu book no wo comment box ni mu mesrawo mobile money o the mobile money eto book no the first link in the comment box, so click it now. The mobile money eto book na twen was our page no, so page no be loadi na download button aba na wa download the book no. The second link in still in the comment box, second link no a book no ne hard copy open book na nkasa na we biem na wa kenkan ya. First one the book no be ba phone so, but second one no book no ye be shape na ba ofie o abrochi a on sa be kan book na nkasa me da say young concept ni mo. It was say the third one was say the inescapable reality of Dr. Ayine's latest act and ex post facto rationalizations laden with contradictions and inconsistencies as they are is what he sought to free his former clients from the clutches of criminal prosecution through the exercise of the power of noli prosequa. That is the first disclosure he should have made to the public at his press conference. Ghanaians deserve this basic courtesy. As Dr. Ayine sought not mislead the public into thinking that through some unprecedented genius, he has recovered assets or money for the state, or the assets of the Dufours, Unibank, and related companies, as well as other persons being prosecuted with them, had already been identified by the receivers of Unibank appointed by Bank of Ghana. The receiver already had a full list and profile of assets owned by them. Dr. Ayine should indicate to the public when either himself or his team this year discovered any new assets owned by the Dufours. Or say, the record will reflect the fact that to date, Dr. Ayine has not recovered a single CD in the Unibank matter. What he proposes to do, and for which he has already entered noli prosequa, is to, in future, use some of the assets already identified by the receiver to defray what he has unilaterally determined to be owned by the accused persons. Instructively, this arrangement is not pursued under any law. It is only pursuant to the exercise of Ayine's power of noli prosequa. Dr. Ayine thus cannot lay claim to recovering any more assets than what the receiver already has. He also cannot claim to have recovered for the public any money from the accused persons this year. Inti otrese bronika se noli prosequa na trese Attorney General akwa court akwa se case no on dibium. So otrese Dr. Ayine case a or country Ghana for no on kan no quarry entre Ghana for. Se Kwabna Dufour no omo akwa GC ka omo hunu japade bia wo mo beton winti no case no mo ka se omo nchi ni biom no o se eyentro enye aban we enye ono Dr. Ayine eno hu Kwabna Dufour ni japade bia na ye omo MPP aban eno mu hu Kwabna Dufour japade enti ende se japade omo MPP fo ni hu ye na udi gina so aka se udi gyan na Utwa ho ntro. That's what Godfred Dame is saying. I say questions arising include was any agreement executed with the Republic before the entry of non-league prosequi, and if so, when? Where is that agreement? Has any fair and objective valuation of the properties been done? And if so, when? Where is the valuation report? Is the event of default? What is the penalty and how enforceable is it? Into your trust, answer na aban we any Dr. Dufour assigning agreement no. Ninja padi na kra no. Ya valuation e was soma yehu ne say e car ye de no ebetumi anso sa aka na na. At the end of the day, and there you see a giant. Ni ekoko hu ni se ninja pade ne kra ne yekohwe ye no se eja pade ne kra ye ton a ye nya sika bia na eno no ede ne besi. So Godfred Dame and a worker sansem no atiase went on and spoke on issues and issues and issues and issues, and then Okansen Bebre, the resetting agenda, the allegation of undue delay in prosecution of white collar crime regularly put by Dr. Ayine and all that, basically bashing Dr. Ayine. Atiase etrese NDC aba abemu no ase NDC nkrofo de ye jai omo atiase ena ase MPP for ne echi omo. Me dey say every single person or anyone at all can criticize Dr. Ayine with sadie way. Anyone at all can decide to criticize Dr. Ayine, but not you, Godfred Dame. Because Godfred Dame, we saw you in this country. And let me pull out some articles. Ewo Kromha. I say Godfred Dame spinning the law to persecute Opuni, Kwesen, Atoforsen via selective justice gymnastics, NDC lawyers. I say the legal directorate of the opposition National Democratic has observed that so far, every reasonable person out there sees the Opuni, Agongo, Jachi Kwesen, and Keselato forcing criminal trials as persecution by Attorney General Godfred Dame instead of prosecution, and intended to score political points. The three cases, Republic versus James Jachi Kwesen, who is being prosecuted for perjury, deceit, or a public officer and forgery. Republic versus Dr. Stephen Opuni and two others who are being trailed for causing financial loss of 217 million to the state. A Republic versus Kessel Atoforsen and two others who are also before court for causing financial loss, blah, 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 have been subject of political discussions and controversy. Mr. Dame recently issued a statement in which he said, while respecting the freedom of every Ghanaian to comment on any matter, including cases pending in court, his office has noted that much of the recent commentary on many of the so-called high-profile criminal cases transgress permissible limits of free speech, unduly interferes with the work of state prosecutors performing their constitutional function of prosecuting crime in Ghana, and tends to put unnecessary pressure on the courts. So here, that time no nankrofo kra kasa ende Godfred Dame a wenya kwan a wo kasa tia Attorney General no that time no nkrofo kasa tia na o say nsema nkrofo ka no mu nim say mo the pressure to court so nti ende bisa Godfred Dame say de ono kasa etia Dr. Ayine ende no enye pressure no de to ne so enye pressure no de to court ne so. But this is a story na NDC for so same old wo accuse Godfred Dame say eba na MPP for a ojai omo. Now, so NDC for the or score political points, right? Another one, NDC accuses Attorney General Godfred Dame of protecting Galamsey operators, calls for his resignation. And also, Sami Jemfi Omokae say report about Professor Frimpong Boateng the report about what bought MPP opinion for Jubilee House for our report in Musa Wamoya Galamsey. Godfred Dame anyehe wa asem ne ho, wan prosecute you bia wa asem ne ho. National Cathedral case by Godfred Dame anyehwe one prosecute you bia, and he was part at a point. Enti enda nkrofo nsem wo mo kan say nanka mo obi fufuro nka enye Godfred Dame. Se wo obi fufuro ebe criticize eye Dr. Ayine e won nsem we so a ye say ye beje ba wo Godfred Dame de you don't need to speak because you hu de wo ye. Do you side with that? Montre mo your comment box nimo me da say. And the Ghana for bebre yare a ekuyen eye stroke, diabetes, cancer, heart disease. Na saa yare we ni na no the underlying factor eye ade a wo broni friend visceral fat. Now her screen so a we eye doctor a website. Now what trust say visceral fat wraps around your organs, creating inflammation and interfering with organ function. This fat causes a big belly.
Now, one thing about visceral fat, and it's engrophobia Rebecca, oh, you better no maybe be drew, I be my fuache, you better no me drew, a be my fuache, Mr. Visceral fat, no, oboa, obi obeka does we drew beer obenum, na we fuache no oboa. Because belly fat, no, a drew beer anywhere to me amanako form. You only lose belly fat when you decide to lose weight. Na me meti he, me obia, na first me obi, belly fat, no, na me obi, visceral fat, no, na me obi. Ende, mini ohwa me fuache na enyama me ye no eye method bi a me friend no the WWE method me dia throw book no or comment box ni mu so open book ni bi ato a eno ane se wa click comment box ni mu na tre se wato book no ana screen so book ni din eye your action plan for weight loss na wa click na wa pe book no ato ye ka eduro eye diane a yedi obi a wobeka tro so ye pedro ebe ma yefu atwe bia no mese oboa mesrew edro ye duane ebedi nti metre we duane a obedi ni na wo book nim ene nyama e wo se wo ye nti no get the book and then live healthy